One of the hazards in particular, of writing nonfiction books is that you are frequently mistaken as an expert in the subject matter that you've written about in a broader sense than just the material that's in your book. I don't know about the other writers here, but when I write a book, everything I know about that subject is in that book. And believe me, nothing, I didn't leave anything out, you know. And yet people still believe, and I should say that I'm not a military guy. I'm about as civilian a person as you'll ever meet. I've been a newspaper reporter my whole life. In fact, once I was invited to give a talk at the CIA convention, and the guy inviting me asked me what my security clearance was. And I said, you've got to be kidding. I would have like a negative security clearance. I'm the person that they're trying to keep things from. But once I was at the Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, talking about Black Hawk Down, and a colonel in the back of the room raised his hand and asked if I thought that Bradley armored vehicles should have been part of the force protection package in Mogadishu. And I said, well, I think before you're entitled to have an opinion about a Bradley armored vehicle, you'd have to know what one was. So when I get an invitation to come and talk about writing and reporting, I feel like at least it's something I do know a little bit about. I've been doing it for 40 years now, just about. And, it's really been a boon in my life that I have had this singular ambition to tell good stories, to write good stories. I remember I met the Pulitzer Prize-winning author, a wonderful person, Samantha Power, a friend of mine. I was at dinner with Samantha with a group in Boston, and this is the kind of question that Samantha asks of people. She says, what's your ambition in life? And she said, mine is, I want to change the world. And I said, well, I just want to write a good story. But the more I thought about it, I thought great stories do change the world, so maybe we're alike in that. The first piece of advice I have is to be really stubborn. Even though you have a job where you have to do things that you may not really want to do, never stop working on your own work, on the thing that excites you. And be stubborn about it. I did not write in my long career as a newspaperman a major story that I did not have to finagle into the paper, that I did not have to do some maneuver to get done, because I was really stubborn. Always be working on the most ambitious story you've ever done. If you're always working on something that scares you a little bit, that you're not sure you can do, that guarantees that you'll continue to grow, that you'll continue to get better. Write to please yourself, and don't ask permission. Don't ask permission. When I went off, as I said, working on Black Hawk Down, it took years of me working basically on my own time, finagling things from the Inquirer, convincing people. Eventually they got behind me, and it ran, and it was a huge success. And I remember one of the reporters in the newsroom, kind of a grouchy woman who worked there for a long time, came up to me, and she said, why do they always give you the really good stories? Take any criticism of your work with a grain of salt. I was, for a number of years, a long time ago, a football writer, and I learned two very vital pieces of wisdom from Philadelphia Eagles football coaches. And one is from Andy Reid, and this is good advice. He says that you're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad either. And the other piece of advice is from Buddy Ryan, my favorite, who I met when I met him the first time. He was sitting in his office down in the basement of the vet, and he had a little styrofoam cup, and he was spitting his tobacco juice into it. He says, I don't give a shit what you write about me. If I'm losing, you can't help me, and if I'm winning, you can't hurt me. Thank you very much.